On the night you were born, the moon smiled with such wonder, until everyone heard and everyone knew.
The night Asher was born, there were a lot of smiles. It had been 9 long, emotional months for his parents. Brian and Lindsay were over the moon to learn they were expecting their first baby. But the ultrasound to tell them it was a boy also revealed a problem, a cleft lip and palate. Their initial disappointment quickly turned to acceptance, though, and they spent the next 2 weeks learning all they could about it. Then another bombshell. Something was wrong with Asher's heart.
That was the shock. I mean, that was just like, is he gonna survive?
Because once you find out they have a cleft and then the heart issue is also like what's causing it. So we were worried, to say the least.
A fetal echo showed a coarctation of his aorta and a small left ventricle. Congenital heart problems are the most common birth defect, and Lindsay and Brian were assured it could be repaired. But as the weeks turned into months, they went through a grieving process.
You're angry, you kind of are upset, and then you go to acceptance. I still, till pretty much the very end of my pregnancy, would go through multiple steps a day.
The soon-to-be parents were torn between wanting Asher to be born so they could know with certainty what they were dealing with and wanting to keep him safe right where he was.
Would he be okay? Would he survive out of womb? Because it says, like, they're going through the whole pregnancy, he's gonna be fine, you know. He's fine in there, but once he comes out, they weren't really sure what exactly was gonna happen.
Asher came into the world with bright eyes and a strong will. But after 2 days, his heart began to fail, and doctors decided to operate.
That is like something nobody can prepare you for. But the morning that they took him away from us and we couldn't go any farther, and they kept wheeling him in his bed, was the scariest, most terrible moment of our life.
The first surgery to repair his aorta brought hope and frustration.
You have good days and bad days, and some days we were doing great and he was doing great, and there's even talks about going home at one point, and then the next day they're like, yeah, no, he's not, we're just, he's not doing well.
After 3 weeks, it was time for a drastic move, open heart surgery. This time, a miracle. Asher started to improve, and after 32 days in the NICU, Brian and Lindsay brought him home.
Yay! Good boy!
These days, watching him run and play and laugh, it's hard to believe he is anything but the picture of health. This past January, doctors did the first of a series of surgeries for his cleft lip and palate. There is a possibility of another heart operation, but that's years down the road. A road that's been long and bumpy and at times heartbreaking. But this family, grateful for the journey and the world-class care in their own backyard.
I would have traveled halfway across the world if it meant having, the best care for him. We were just lucky enough the best care for him was here. Go get Daddy.
Their story, one to share, to say thank you to those who paved the way for Asher and for other babies just like him.
Without research being done and continuously being done, Asher wouldn't be here today, and either would so many other babies. I feel so lucky and so blessed at the outcome that we have with our son, and that I feel like everybody should get that.